everyone.
We are live. My name is Kerry Hollingsworth. I'm an upholstery artist for Antiquate. This gorgeous human being next to me is Zita Cantor. She is an incredible fibre artist, and we are so excited to be here on day one of our collaboration captured series for Romney and Quinn, who you can see just behind us here, and we'll introduce you in a few moments. So for today and for this whole project, we're filming in a really beautiful part of Australia. And before we begin, we'd really love to acknowledge the Turungaran people, traditional owners of this land in which we meet, the land in which I'm very fortunate to reside, and where this project will largely take place as well. So we pay our respects to their elders past, present, and of course emerging. Hi, Amy. Thanks for being here. So in this first video for today, what we thought we would go through was really getting to know us as artists individually, what we do in our art practices and what we're hoping to bring to this collaboration, just so you get a feel of who we are and what we're about, and then also obviously go through the actual project itself in more detail, I guess, because tomorrow we're actually getting hands-on and we're getting started and we're so excited. So to begin, Zita, did you want to go through maybe what you do, your art practice, let everyone know who you are and how wonderful you are?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is actually my first live video ever.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
I didn't even know that.
We're actually embarking on something.
She's just so cool, calm and collected. I was all a bag of nerves over here, and she's like, "Yeah, a piece of cake." So first live.
All
okay.
outside. It's all upstairs. But yes, my name is Zita Cantor. I'm a fiber artist. So my specialty is large-scale tapestries. So I work with interior designers and architects and private people as well. And I make large-scale tapestries for homes out of natural materials.
Fibers.
Yeah, natural materials like sheep's wool and not sheep's wool. See, I'm nervous now. Silk and cotton.
Flax.
And
you
flax.
make some beautiful stuff with flax. Yeah,
flax
all beautiful natural fibers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, and I love working on a large scale. Absolutely adore it, and because then you get that impact. And once you walk in a space that has a tapestry on a wall,
and a very tactile tapestry as well.
Yes.
Like Zita's stuff. If you haven't seen her stuff before, it's just you want to just walk into it and just have it all around, like your beautiful scarf that you're wearing, you know, like you want to be involved with your work, which is a really beautiful thing to be able to do as an artist. So well done.
Yeah, thank you. And I do encourage people think that they can't, because it's artwork you can't touch it, but I actually do encourage people, no, go, you know, and touch it.
It's really important. I feel like we're very similar in our ways of thinking with art, because it's really important to get involved with it. And to interact with it in your space. It's not just there as a pretty thing on the wall or on a bed, or, you know, if it's a cushion or something that you wear. It's really important to interact with it in your space, you know, energy wise and actually physically. It's just a really beautiful experience.
I'm a tactile, but see, I can't even sit still, so I'm just, you know,
playing with wool.
Yes, absolutely. And it calms me, you know, it's like a soothing thing as well.
Yeah.
I just love the softness. I love the feeling. I love, you know, there's a lot of information that probably, you know, goes to my brain.
Absolutely. No, it would.
Yeah.
So Zita and I have been really lucky to work on a collaboration in the past, and I think since that collaboration we've been talking about working together. That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
2 years ago,
yeah.
Yes.
And since then we've discussed doing this. This idea has floated around for a long time, but it wasn't until I think it was the start of this year that I sent you the pattern for the back, and I'm like, all right, it's happening. We're doing this. These two chairs were chairs that I'd had for a while. Yeah, that's what I sent Zita.
There it is.
In an envelope. I just sent her a big thing of fabric and
Hairy
said, make
chair.
something beautiful for that.
Writing hairy chair.
And so that's all this year we've been talking about it and talking about this collaboration and how we were going to go about it. And we came up with the idea of, instead of, I think a lot of artists in their individual work and in collaborations and, you know, just artistic projects altogether, it seems to be that, and like, I mean, I do it as well, but it seems to be that you sort of share a bit about the project, you might share some information along the way, and then here's the grand reveal of it finished, which is all well and beautiful, and I really understand why artists do that, and like I said, I do that as well. But I think there's something really magical in sharing the whole process and nerve-wracking. Like, I won't lie, this isn't a planned out thing of, you know, we're going to make ourselves look like perfect artists. There's no such thing. Any art project that you do is the unknown, because it's not something, it's not mass produced. It's not something that we've got 100 of them back in the shed and this is going to be our perfect one to make it look like we know what we're doing. We're actually embarking on something and sharing it with you guys, the whole process of like how a collaboration works, how a creative process sort of takes shape. The wins and losses, like there might be that's it, and there's always that chance of that, and that's why a little bit of us is a bit nervous to share all that online, but that's, in reality, that's what any sort of artistic project is like. There is always, I don't like using the word failing though, because quite often, so for my personal projects, when I've done upholstery art chairs, when I've failed as such, as in the original design, that's not how it ended up. I've quite often found out that it was something even more magical, or it was something different. It was something that I'd never even considered because I hadn't pushed my mind to think that way. Yeah. So it's really important that I think you see those circumstances as opportunities. Yes. Opportunities to grow, you know, your mind and your art, like how you work, your process, all the rest of it. So there is lots on the line, I feel like.
There is, yes.
Yeah. So, so we've been lucky to work together before. We're over the moon to be working together once again. For those of you that don't know me and what I do, I'm an upholstery artist, and I sort of created my own way of, I'm like, what are you doing? I do wall art as well, wall art and cushions and stuff as well. But so that started from being a furniture upholsterer, and then simply it was just from getting sick of all the amount of waste that was coming from the workshop. That's basically where it started. I was getting really frustrated that there were so many beautiful little bits of trim offcuts and fabric offcuts and that were just going in the bin because they were considered useless. And I'm like, surely there's another way. So then I started weaving them together to create panels and then put them like on the backs of the chairs. And then just something opened my eyes to a whole new world of creativity. And I mean, I kind of made it sound all like airy-fairy then. There's a lot of working out problems and, you know, all that sort of stuff, like as any business goes through. But it's just been a really wonderful experience. So
your chairs are like stories. That's how I see them. Thank you. It's like a story in each piece, you know.
And I think at the start, it's funny that you say that, because at the start, I was sort of doing them thinking, well, that's the whole environmental reason is why I'm doing it. And, you know, I'm saving scraps from landfill and that's the reason. But now it has evolved very much into storytelling and, you know, adding in sentimental items for the client, so then they can always think of their beautiful grandma when they see that bit of wool, you know, from their scarf, or like whatever it may be,
or lace,
There's just it's a whole new way of storytelling, and I think that's a really beautiful thing about art, is that it is storytelling. So anyway, I think we kind of got off track.
It's okay.
So our design process. So what are we doing with these chairs? So basically, today, this is legitimately from scratch. Like obviously Zeta and I have worked out like what materials we're using. We've got a whole bunch of materials here in front of us, wools and beautiful things that have just come from String Harvest that we just got from the post office. We haven't even opened the box yet. So we've spoken a little bit about this project, but as far as the design process, how we're going to go about things, how we're going to design the back of the chairs and stuff, that has not even been worked out yet. So we want you to come along on the journey with us. It's sort of like a co-creation space, like ask the questions, get involved, because we're going to be sharing as much as we can. And the more interaction we get from you, as in, you know, what you're wanting to see more of, then we can actually create those videos for you and show you how it's all come about. So
we'll be sharing little bits and pieces of how we create the designs, and we know for sure that one chair will be very woven. It's like a woven piece of art, and with the latch hook as well.
Latch hook, yes. So we're using latch hook canvas.
And the other one is felted, so it will actually be like.
So this is Zeta's beautiful work.
So the one back is done, but it's not the finished product.
No. Do you want to tell them what the finished product is? The idea for the finished product. And this is one part that I don't want to say we're both nervous about. I think we're both excited about, but nervous, excited because we haven't done it before.
Yes.
One. Two, I don't think it's sort of been done at this scale for this type of project before. So it's a very much an experimental phase.
Yes.
And we don't want to muck it up because we're really excited about these chairs. So why don't we show them the chairs first, and then it'll make more sense about which one's fluffy and which one's more textural.
There's a lot of fluff in here.
So this is Romney over here, and this is Quinn. Of course, they've got names. That's just how we roll. So as you can see, they both come from the same set, but Romney has got the curved back. I don't know if you could sort of see that. And then Quinn is a lot more squares. So they're beautiful chairs. I was given these chairs.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. A lady that follows me on Instagram, and this is probably about 18 months ago, she contacted me saying that her mum was moving into a home and she had these beautiful pieces, and she saw what I did and was inspired by my work, and she asked if I wanted them. And it was so lovely of her. And so I've literally had them sitting up over there for 18 months. And once Zeta and I started talking about working together and the idea of doing Zeta's beautiful felting work and then my fiber work, I was thinking these chairs would be perfect because they've got the different shapes. So they've got their unique features.
But they're from the same family.
From the same family. Like every family, you know, like a brother and sister or two brothers or two sisters. They can have their own quirks and have their own personalities. And that's what we really want for these chairs. So why don't you explain?
Yeah, so we decided that the fluffy, the round one is going to be the fluffy one at the back. Oops.
That's all right. There's another chair there.
So I did the felting already for it. And it's huge.
So this is from the
Romney sheep.
Romney sheep.
Yes,
so that's why
that's why it is called Romney. Yes.
Yes.
So
and one thing that I just learnt about is the oil in the wool. Yes. So what's that called again?
Lanolin.
Lanolin.
Yes.
You may have known that. I didn't know that. But
so sometimes when the wool you actually sniffed this before and you said, oh, this smells like my grandpa's jumper, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, well, this is the lanolin you're smelling. This is the sheep's, smell.
You know when you smell fibres and you can just smell the sheep and smell the wool. And every time, my Nana and Papa used to live on a farm, but Papa always wore wool jumpers. And so any hug you got from them, from him, you just got that smell. And it just like reminds me of it so much. And I love it. And then that's when we had the conversation about the lanolin.
Lanolin, yes.
Lanolin.
From the sheep's wool.
So that's what the colour is, you said? That's what the...
Yes, so that's a little bit of a yellowing as well. So I haven't washed it out completely, but it's not a problem because we will be eco-dyeing this.
Yeah,
at
that's the
end.
thing. Yeah, so that's the thing that we hadn't mentioned. So do you want to say? Do you
Yeah,
want to tell them about that?
so probably in a month's time. Yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe about that. We will be doing a huge eco-dyeing experiment where we will be dyeing this felting and also Carrie's weaving.
Yeah.
So we work all in basic natural colors.
Yes.
And
they have to be 100% natural fibers too,
Yes.
for the eco dyeing to work as well. So that's
yeah. So and you have like a cast iron bath.
I do. we
So our idea was to actually make a bonfire underneath the cast iron bath.
We haven't told Marcus about that yet because Marcus is the one that's got to move the bath
really?
on top of the fire. I haven't mentioned that to him yet. But we're going to do a huge eco dyeing bath here and dye this beautiful felted Romney wool as well as the latch hook canvas that we're going to create with all these beautiful natural fibers. And as you can see, like,
they come in different tones.
Yeah, they're different tones, although they're all natural fibers.
We do have some even with like
darker ones
as well, but when they are over dyed together with the same tone, I think it's going to be really awesome. And the idea,
so it'll create different tones throughout the whole artwork, so it's going to be an experiment.
It will be. So we have no idea.
We have no idea
we'll probably learn tons at the end.
Of course. And the whole idea is for us to, of course, learn as we go, as we would any project, but to share that, and so you can learn too, and maybe it might inspire some of you to get into creating. Oh goodness, look how beautiful that is!
But this banana silk, it's like a
Oh, that's a linen and that's banana silk.
Yeah. This is so beautiful. This will give.
This one is so. I don't know if you can't really see it. It's got like a shimmer to it, and it is so soft. Oh my goodness, we're in fiber heaven. Right
I know.
We're in fiber heaven.
I want to move in with String Harvest. Actually,
yes.
I love the fiber. It's beautiful. My goodness. So I love this banana. So it feels like a snowball in your hand. It actually has that crunch that I remember that from Latvia.
Yeah.
We used to have winters and snow till.
It does have that crunch, doesn't it? It's so funny.
That crunch.
So one thing that I actually forgot to ask you about is your design process and how you create, like what is your process that you go through if a client comes to you and says, you know, I want a tapestry that looks like this, or do they say, I just want one of your pieces and this is where it's going, can you make it fit? Like how does that conversation go?
Well, when someone comes to me, they generally have seen my work on Instagram or Facebook or on my website. And I work with natural colors only. So how it comes off the sheep's back, or silks as well, with natural colored silks. And
can I just share what you said before about about colors that you use? You said the sheep determines the colour that they get. The client gets. So, not that the client doesn't determine the colour, the sheep determines.
Yeah, the sheep that grows the wool determines the colour that my client's going to get. So I normally do not dye my fibers for my large tapestries. They're all natural colors, and I love that because it limits me. It gives me certain tones and shades of a certain group of colors, which are natural browns, grays, fawn, which is very beautiful, this sort of sandy.
Yeah.
Alpacas have a lot of beautiful fawn.
I think when you start, sorry to interrupt you there, I was just thinking when you start working with only those natural colours, you actually start to see more colours.
Yes.
Because
nuances.
Yeah. And you see the differences. Even looking at all of this, it looks like a feast of colour, but it's all really, really neutral.
Yes.
So it's interesting. It's like our brains only see what we're allowing it to see. And if you're used to going to say to a wool shop and getting all really bright stuff, then this stuff may not register as much with your mind. But when you're only working with this really neutral palette, then you would start to see more tones and colours than most other people, I'd say.
It does spark my creativity as well, because I see that it's not like a bad thing, but I see the problem that I have to solve. So I have only 5 tones, and I have to make this tapestry out of it, and that's how the creative minds work. We solve problems all the time, and that's where the creativity gets fueled and sparked. And I love that. Like, it's almost like a race, what am I going to create today? It's almost like very
and it
challenge.
Evolves, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. But
and you never really have full, well, actually, sorry, I shouldn't say everyone. Like in my experience, in my art practice, I never have full control over the look of it, and I don't want full control over it. And I've really learned over the last few years to let go of that control, because when I'm trying to control the outcome, yes, I might end up with something that looks nice, but if you really open to inspiration as soon as it comes in, when you're actually working on the piece, that's when you get something just that really sets your heart on fire. And I can honestly say I don't get those moments if I'm just following A to B. And I actually, like with clients of mine, I have trouble. I thought when I first started, okay, I need to be able to sketch out the design, show them the whole design, and then make that. And now I think of that and go, oh, I couldn't imagine even doing that, because that would be so almost jolting and like constrictive. Like that would feel really constrictive, because a lot of my art practice and a lot of things that I really love within my work and my clients really love are things that have just happened. Like they've just naturally developed through inspiration, through actually working on the piece. And how would I have known to draw that out if I wasn't allowing myself to be really open and creative in the first place?
They're
so
like
I think
happy
that's
accidents almost.
Exactly. And that's why we're here saying, we can't tell you exactly what this project is going to look like, because we don't yet know. But we both know enough in ourselves and what we've experienced so far individually as artists that, that's not what we're here to do, is to give you a blueprint of what it's going to be. We want you on the journey with us.
It's getting chilly outside. I have to make one of these as a coat.
I really want to just hug you now because you look so cuddly. So I think that's all for today. Was there anything else?
I think so. Yeah. No, but what are we going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow we're going to experiment with the latch hook. And it's not going to be a live video, but we'll pre-record something.
Yeah, so this whole, so you may be watching this through now through live on Facebook. It could be the replay, it could be through YouTube or Insta, through our websites, wherever it is. Whenever you come across these videos, we'd love for you to join in and ask any questions, or just let us know how you feel about the project, because like I said before, it's a really co-creating space, and we want you to get as much out of this experimental project as what we do as well. So tomorrow we'll be working on latch hook. So we've finally got all our fibres together. So we'll be filming how sort of how we go. Have you done latch hook before or not? Not much.
No,
not much.
You are more.
Okay, so I'll be showing Zita how to do it. I'll be showing you guys how to do it. And just see what happens. It's not. I mean, it's not something that I can say, oh well, this is what we're going to get done tomorrow, because again, it's just a very intuitive, developmental space. So,
But follow on social media, #Romney and Quinn.
And that's where all the updates will be.
That's where we'll be tagging everything, and
And we're super excited to be bringing you this collaboration, this project, and just sharing everything with you. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Bye.